Good morning, everybody. Basically, my topic today is retail management, and we are all very familiar to one particular thing that is going to shopping malls today. And shopping malls happen to be a infotainment. They are information and entertainment. If you look at the things that a shopping mall gives us is a wide range of experience in terms of the ability for us to know what is going on, and second is the variety of products that we see, and the last point is entertainment. We enjoy going to a shopping mall, we spend much more than what we intend to. Normally we plan for a pair of clothes, we end up buying something plus in return, but at the end of the day we are happy for what we have purchased from a shopping mall because we get value for our money. Today's session will introduce you to the retail industry, and we'll understand retailing in a quick process of how this entire process works. It is quite very similar to that of a FMCG industry, but retailing happens to be a real fascination for people because the phenomenal growth of what retailing has done in the last 1 or 2 years. Basically, the word retailing means selling products in small quantities. Okay, retailing retailers purchase in bulk, but they are selling them into pieces. What are these? Maybe one piece, two piece, three piece. For example, if we are buying a soap like Lux, okay, the retailer buys around 12 pieces or a box full of this, but we go pick up one Lux soap. This is called as retailing. Okay, shopping malls today happen to be called as with a variety of names. And if we look at some of them are called as the convenience store, supermarket, shopping malls, in-store, standalone stores, okay, store in a store. There are lots of varieties that we see in a retail market, wherein we understand one thing that the growth that is happening in the shopping malls is only because people find all the products available at one place. They save a lot of time and they get value for their money because the pricing or an additional value factor what they get there. The modern retail what we speak about has been divided into the food products, second is the hard goods or durable goods, and the last what we call as soft goods or consumables. The hard goods that we are speaking about are electronic appliances, furnitures, sport goods. These are called as hard goods. And the last what we come are soft goods. These are clothing, apparel, and fabrics. Normally what we happens is when we go for a retail, when we go for a shopping mall, normally what happens is we have a tendency to buy the goods, right? The food products. Normally what happens is we go there, let's see what is there in a soft good consumables. We just say let's go for a round and understand that what is happening in the clothing sector. We find it very fascinating that we are attracted to a new design and we pick them up. That has been the trend wherein we end up spending plus. That is the reason I said a retail mall is an information plus entertainment. What is entertainment? The second part, what we have not planned, we go buy it. This is called as entertainment. Apart from the shopping malls today have, the retail malls today have a few things. That is, we have a food joint, right? Wherein what happens is we go end up shopping and then we have a lunch, dinner, or a snack and come back. The business of retailing is being divided into two segments. One is a general trade, the second is the modern trade. The general trade is the way normally it has been functioning. The modern trade, the shopping malls and the online purchase. Okay. The goods that flow from a general store to your home need not be necessarily priced the same as that in the shopping mall. A shopping mall offers discount, value for money, price discount, product promotions, and value for money through coupons, maybe something value addition. The same retailer cannot afford who is next door. Okay. The modern trade has been going through the online shopping, which is value for money, which is basically the touch and feel effect is missing. Whereas in a retail mall, you can touch, feel, see the price, and then decide on it. There are two things what happens in an online purchase. You may tend to forget what you have seen and forget it. But what happens in a shopping mall, the touch feel effect has already made a small impression in the mind of a person. Yes, that is one product which I would like to buy. Maybe after you come back, you realize I really wanted to buy that shirt. Or you'll say that I really wanted to buy that spray. Or I really wanted to buy that washing machine. The same washing machine is available in an online store, which you might say there is price fluctuation, but the touch feel effect is missing. But remember, today's youth are moving towards a modern trade wherein they do not want to have a touch feel effect. The cost benefit factor is much more important for them, wherein for the youths, I mean 30 or 35, people below 30, 35, they are a lot, they have a ability to spend, and they would like to go in for a modern shopping malls, or what we call as comparing prices and then deciding. Okay, information, entertainment, infotainment, and value for money. Let's see how these goods reach them in terms of the particular supply chain. Right, how the goods reach from a particular company to a retail store. If you look at, the goods are manufactured in a company, they move to the depot, what is called as a mother depot. A mother depot is owned by the company, wherein they stock all the possible goods over there. For example, if we have to speak about one particular company, let's say Godrej Consumer Products Limited has its warehouse, it has a mother depot. The mother depot is in Mumbai. Alright, from the mother depot, it moves to the C&Fs, which are again the depots of owned by the companies. But what is the difference? The C&FA gets some additional benefit of around 1% as an additional incentive for storing these goods. But a mother depot does not have that advantage, and the goods are still in the premises of the company, wherein there is no sales that has happened. The only thing that has happened is it has been manufactured and it has been sent to its own warehouse. That is the reason we say that mother depots are known as company warehouses. From the company warehouses, which are large, the mother depots are so large that it can accommodate some from few days to some months of stock. Okay, from the mother depot it moves to the C&FA, who is a carrying and forwarding agent, who takes care of the distribution to the redistributors or dealers or stockists, what we normally call them. Authorized dealers are the names that we generally refer in a FMCG sector. And the flow of goods from the CFA to the redistribution stockist is through, once they realize the value, the money. From the redistribution stockist, if we have to speak about the shopping malls, they go to a retail center. For example, it may be a convenience store, or it may be a store in a store, or it may be a shopping mall, or it can be a hypermarket. This is how it normally moves up. And if you look at the pricing factor, these shopping malls get an additional benefit what a retailer normally does not get. A retailer next to your home does not get so many benefits as that one who gets from a supermarket or a hypermarket. The flow of goods move from the manufacturer. This is the flow of material, how it is from this. From the manufacturing unit to a mother depot to a C&FA to a authorized dealer to a retail shopping center. That is the reason I say it's a supply chain flow, or the flow of materials. But how do these materials reach to a center? Maybe the forecasting happens here or there. The forecasting normally for the first time is introduced from a dealer to the retailer. Then let's see what happens. There is an information flow. Once the goods are exhausted at the retail, we have to look at the previous slide. The retail shopping center is exhausted with, say, Synthol soap. What happens? He has to buy it. So what is he going to do? He is going to inform. Okay, he is going to inform whom? The authorized dealer. Please send me 1 carton or 1 box of Synthol soaps to my center. This is how it works. This is the reason I say the information flow and is the reverse way. The information flow is from a retail mall to an authorized dealer, and an authorized dealer to a C&FA, and similarly it goes to a mother depot. The C&FA orders the goods to the mother depot, which he forecasts that in the next couple of days my stock is going to get exhausted, or I might need some help from, so that the goods are intact or they are there with us, so that the market and the people have a continuity in it. Look at the managerial grid. We look at the managerial grid. Each region has a regional manager. The country is divided into 4 states: north, south, east, west. Every region has a regional sales manager. Okay, the regional sales manager is accountable for the sales of the organization, wherein, understand one thing, the retailing is a selling process, okay, as well as a marketing process. What happens is, the national sales manager gives targets to his regional manager. Earlier we had only general trade, which we had a normal distributor going to a retail shop and selling the things. But today we have a modern retailing trend, wherein there is somebody who is an additional person who has been created by the company, who takes care of the special accounts, or what we call them as key accounts. Alright. The national sales manager takes care of the national level sales. He divides and delegates to all his 4 regional sales manager, north, south, east, west, through which the sales has been bifurcated by a state-wise area manager. He's called as an area sales manager. Under the area sales manager, there is somebody called as a retail accounts manager. From the retail accounts manager, it again goes to the sales representatives. Company wants a retail client should be serviced particularly either by a sales representative or a territory manager himself. And sometimes, or many other times, we see that the regional manager makes it a point to visit a few outlets every day to ensure that the goods are intact. We have seen a couple of regional managers and the area managers taking it a lot of with a lot of creativity and enthusiasm to arrange the products in such a way that they are displayed in a good format. At the end of the presentation, we'll see what's a good format. The targets, if we have to see the targets, it flows from the reverse way to this. The retail process, if we have to look up, the inventory levels have to be minimally maintained. The primary sales are the sales from the dealer to the retail shopping malls. It is minimal. The secondary sales, the entire focus of a retail mall is on the secondary sales or the shelf of takes, what we call as. Shelf of takes are the shelves wherein we go pick up a product and then take home. This is called as shelf of takes. The retailing trends that we see, normally what happens is, in a month we have 4 weeks, and how is the sales there? Normally the first week of the month people have salaries, okay, so the spending power is more. We see a lot of footfalls coming up in a 2-3 tier town, okay, wherein the shopping is at a phenomenal rate. Maybe around 35% of the month's thing happens on these days. Let's talk of a normal month, wherein let's not speak about any festival days. It's just on a normal month. What we see is 35% of the sales volume happen in week 1. 25% of the sales happen in week 2. For those people whose salaries are delayed, maybe for after 7, normally they go and spend after 20, maybe after second week. The same thing what happens is, the people who have purchased in week 1, they go and purchase a small lot in week 3. Alright, and their normal buyers who buy on a weekly base end up spending their money in week 3, and the sales in the last week happens to drop down in the 4th week. But the most beautiful part is, retailing 4th week of the month has been considered as replenishment week, wherein they purchase, stock the goods so that it's on the 1st that the products are available, so that the person who is going to buy the products on week 1 is never affected with the sales volume. The targets are from a bottom-up approach. Okay, the targets are set by the key accounts manager in such a way that the targets have to be achieved from the bottom-up approach. The target planning happens from top to bottom, but the achievement happens from the bottom-up approach. The pricing, if we have to look up, it has been a pricing. Most retail shopping malls or shopping centers have a cost plus margins. Okay. The other, if you're looking for the Western countries, they are different. They are mostly 99 rupees, or what we call as psychological pricing. The retail shopping malls have get an additional discount which is being planned by the retailer and the territory manager in consultation for a particular product. This is how the area manager, the regional managers try to display their products in such a way that yes, this is what I'm looking for in this particular brand, that my visibility is very clear so that I take it from the shelf to purchase, right? This is the trend. And if you look at the FMCG products, they are displayed in such a way in a Kirana outlet, but the store next home has all these products wherein you are really confused, what should I pick now? If you go to the previous slide, we understand, yes, this is a category wherein we understand what I should pick. Okay. This trend is being followed in a retail shopping mall, which makes it very clear for any customer or a consumer to just directly enter the particular segment, purchase, take home, and relax. Thank you.